What's up, guys? Seth here. Welcome back to Batslayer MMA. Breaking news: Max Holloway is going to replace Tony Ferguson and face Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 223. This is the fourth time that this fight between Tony Ferguson and Khabib has been canceled. Remember, the first time they were supposed to fight, it was all the way back in 2015. But Khabib had an injury, and then Tony fought somebody, and then the second time it was actually Tony Ferguson who pulled out due to an injury. The third time, we all remember that weight cut tiramisu by Khabib, and this was the fourth time, and now unfortunately Tony Ferguson had a knee injury, LCL, and he's going to have surgery according to Dana White. So this is the fourth time this fight has been scrapped, okay? And 2 times by Khabib, 2 times by Ferguson. Dana was asked if he's going to try to make the fight for the 5th time. He did say no. But honestly, I think the fight is going to happen. I know everyone's talking about curse and it's not meant to be this and that, but I think the fight's going to happen. They are still both relatively young. The fans want to see this fight. I still want to see this fight. You know, I mean, they're even. They both pulled out twice. So let's make it a 5th time. Hopefully the 5th time is a charm. Max Holloway has stepped in on short notice, 6-day notice to fight Khabib for the belt. Okay, now the belt, everyone has questions about who's going to belt, what's going on. Well, remember, Tony Ferguson was the interim champion. When he beat Kevin Lee with that 3rd round submission, he became the UFC Interim 155 champion. Even though Conor hasn't fought in like 2 years, he is still technically the 155 champion. You know, as soon as this fight starts, Conor will be stripped, and the winner of the UFC 223 headliner, that's going to be the new champion. And basically Tony Ferguson, since he's going to have surgery, he's going to be stripped of his interim belt. And that's unfortunate because, you know, he has one of the most ridiculous win streaks in the UFC lightweight division. He's earned that belt. He deserves to be real champion. But unfortunately, he's interim champion, and now he'll be stripped of that belt. And now Khabib, the winner of Khabib and Max Holloway, they're going to be the undisputed 155 champion. And keep in mind, Max Holloway is the undisputed 145 champion. So Max Holloway now has a chance to be only the 2nd man to hold 2 belts at the same time. Right? But he's not the 2nd man to attempt it. All right, that's going to be actually, remember, he's actually going to be the 3rd man to try that. BJ Penn was the first one to try that. When he was the 155 champion, he tried to go for 170 against GSP. He lost. He couldn't do it. And then that hasn't happened since Conor McGregor attempted, and he did succeed, became the champion, and now Max Holloway will try to do the same thing that Conor did and BJ tried to do. Now, this to me is interesting. You know, Max Holloway is a great fighter. Pound for pound, he's up there. He's the best 145er right now. Dude's an animal. But he just had an injury. He was supposed to have a fight against Frankie Edgar, and he pulled out due to a foot injury. And I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, the MMA show with Brendan Schaub, and Joe was talking about how he broke his foot.
Max just broke his foot. So what are we at right now? How many weeks is he out? Is he even out of his cast yet?
My question is it just a leg injury or is it a broken foot? If it's a broken foot, how long does that take to heal? Right? Let's say it takes 6 weeks to heal. You know, that's not really a whole lot of time for him to heal that broken leg and then train, right? I just saw an Instagram post on Max saying that he's getting back to training, basically. So to me, you know, this is the worst possible time for him to fight because he just got off an injury and now he's taking this fight on short notice, right? It's not like he's been training and he's ready to take this fight. He just got off a serious leg injury, which he was forced to pull out of that fight against Frankie Edgar with, and now he's going to jump right in and face someone like Khabib. To me, that's just ludicrous, but it is what it is. Everything is stacked against Max Holloway. You know, not only the fact that he's taking this fight on 6 days' notice against someone like Khabib, which I believe you need a full camp for a guy like Khabib. You got to study for a guy like Khabib. You got to bring in sparring partners and prepare for a guy like Khabib because he has one game plan. You know what he's going to do. He's going to take you down. He's going to smash you. So you need guys who have really good top control. So I don't think he's a guy that you just take on short notice. But the good thing about Khabib, he's going to fight a guy that's very similar to Tony Ferguson. That's the good thing on Khabib's side. Even though he's also getting a last-minute opponent switch Max Holloway and Tony Ferguson, in terms of size, right, height, weight, they're pretty same guys. They're both pretty good volume punchers. I would argue that Max is a much better striker. Well, not maybe much better, but he's definitely the better striker. Tony Ferguson is the better grappler. They both have great cardio, but they're pretty similar. So for Khabib, I don't think much is changing. You know, I think he's pretty happy with this matchup, right? It's not like you're going to fight Tyron Woodley and then he gets switched. Now you got to fight Wonderboy, because those are totally different styles. That's going to be a tough matchup. This one, I think for Khabib, it's a pretty good matchup. It's a good opponent change for him. For Max, this is terrible, but he's the one who took the fight. People are going to say, well, you know, the weight cut, Max is not going to be cutting much weight. But keep in mind that Max, you know, I saw him in UFC tonight, and he looked pretty big, man. He looked like, when he was standing next to DC, he looked pretty goddamn big. He's probably walking around maybe 175, right? So he's still got to cut at least maybe 15 to 20 pounds in 6 days. That's still a hard weight cut. Yeah, he doesn't have to make 145, but he's making 155 with a lot less time. So I think it's still going to be a tough weight cut. He's coming off a serious injury, an injury he had to pull out of. And he's going to fight somebody like Khabib with no training camp, right? He just got back in the gym. So very, very tough match. I mean, this is a fight that Khabib has to win. If Max Holloway can pull this off, it's going to be one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I will be doing a breakdown of Max Holloway versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. So make sure you subscribe so you can watch that video. Please go ahead and comment, tell me what you think, and stay tuned.